my nightmare.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Come play with us, Daddy.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Fear Freaks Podcast. I'm Braden.
I'm Destiny.
And we are the Fear Freaks. Guys, look at that. The final opening of 2023, and there was no issues. We got in here tonight, no technicalities. Holy hell, what a great way to end the year. I hope that you guys had a very Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. If you guys don't celebrate Christmas, I hope that you guys have had a good holiday season regardless. Had some fun, spending some time with friends, family, whoever it is that you guys spend it with. We're just excited to be here tonight to close out the year strong with another year of Fear Freaks. We just celebrated 2 years last week, and I'm excited to be here. Des, how are you feeling tonight?
Feeling good.
Good.
Tired.
Feel that?
Like normal.
Yeah. I'd say that's a pretty consistent emotion for you, is to feel tired. You know, you're sleeping.
Yeah. I'm tired. And today, usually I'm always tired because like I get home and I lay down for like 3 hours before I get ready. But today I had stuff to do, so I didn't really get to lay down. So now it's like,
hey, you know what?
Yeah.
We're just glad that you're here. We're glad that you're here with us tonight. And guys, holy cow, I already see the comment section blowing up. You guys are outstanding. We're going to get to all those comments here in just a second. First things first, I want to give a special shout out to all the viewers right now that are watching us live. If you guys are listening to us in the future or watching us right now, we do very much appreciate you being here, spending about an hour of your time with us. We try not to go over that, you know, we try not to. It doesn't, if you look at episode history, we don't really do a great job with it. But if you guys are listening on Spotify or Apple, go ahead and give us a rating. Let us know what you think of the show. That's always just going to help us kind of, you know, with the feedback. Leave comments. Let us know if there's anything that we can improve on. Give us a 1-star rating. Say we suck. Tell us what you think. You know, just be honest, all right? That's only going to help us. And if you guys are always watching us live, hey, we're super happy to have you here live each week. And that's vice versa. If you guys are listening and you guys would like to catch us live, make sure you guys check back to the channel every week. Check out when the next show is. We'd love to have you and welcome you here in the chat. We love our audience as we do the show live. And of course, thank you to the Patreons of the channel. If you guys would like to become a Patreon member, you guys can do so at patreon.com/Braden Timmons. You guys are awesome. You guys are helping the content become better and better. Just, you know, by throwing in to a certain tier. So yeah, appreciate you guys a lot. And let's get back into tonight's show. Des, in between my spiel, guess how many comments I'm looking at right now on the little comment highlight? Guess how many?
4.
39. 39 comments has been going on between my little spiel here.
You did talk a lot though, so.
Okay, well, hold on here. Let's now it's time to say hello to everyone in the chat, okay? Let's say hi to everybody. Lamontre, kicking it off with the end of the year. You're the first one to comment again. Oh my gosh, man. Thank you for being here. Margaret Brown, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and all the best in the 2024. Thank you, Margaret. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you as well. We hope that you had a great one, and thank you for being here tonight. Brettman in the chat. Raymond, what's going on? Hope you had a nice Christmas, and I hope that you had a nice Christmas too, Raymond. Mark Jones, what's happening? Brandon, what's going on, buddy? How are you doing tonight? What's happening, fam? I'm seeing Blu-ray Addict is in the house. Misael, what's going on? Oh, Aaron, you know what? Aaron, I mostly go over his a lot. Caught it. Misael, I'm going to jump back to you in just a second. Aaron, what's going on, buddy? Glad to have you in here. Misael, how are you? Denise, how is it going? We got Davey in the house. Hope you guys had a nice Christmas weekend. And Davey, I hope that you and your family had a nice Christmas weekend as well. Seeing a lot of good conversation going on here. Ashton, can't miss you, buddy. What's going on, Ashton? How are you? What's going on over there?
Can you hear that?
Yeah, I could hear that. What's happening?
Someone's taking a bath.
Oh, look, a bath, not even just a shower.
That's a bath.
Oh, well. Okay. So she's going to be out for just a second. What's going on, guys? I'm glad that you guys are all here. Tonight's going to be fun. Tonight, we are doing our top 10 horror movies of the entire year. Guys, we are already on a close out of another year for top horror of the year. We got 10 of them that we are going to be ranking. I think last year we did top 5. However, this year I do think that there was so much horror and so much good horror that we had to include 10, including 2 honorable mentions. So we've got 2 honorable mentions that we're going to be kicking off the show with here in just a few minutes. And then we've got 10 of them that we're going to be talking about. Now, keep in mind, guys, that this is just our personal ranking. If a movie that you loved a lot is not on the list, don't be threatening us. Don't be, saying, hey, I'm coming to your house. Des, I love the new background. Very atmospheric, That's amazing. That's great. So that's only your temporary background, though. Are you going to go back upstairs after the shower thing is done?
Yeah, whenever that is.
All right.
Oh, I guess I could turn on a light. No, it's going to be too bright. It's fine.
Yeah, it's all good. Jason, what's going on? Welcome into the chat here tonight. Todd, how are you? Wishing you all the best next year, and we are wishing you the best next year as well. Brandon says that one of the worst things to happen when going live, someone's shouting in the background and the power goes out. That is pretty bad. I would agree. Yeah, we've had a few technical issues in the past, with power and internet, and that's always just so fun to deal with. So, who in the world? A Plainfield, Illinois number is calling me right now. Don't even have it saved. So that's just should I answer it just live on the show? Just be like,
No.
hey yo. No, not gonna do that. Okay. Des, I already told them the spiel as to what's going on tonight. Obviously we're going through our top 10 horror movies of the year. Did we do 5 last year? Have we done 5 the last couple of years? Is that what's happened?
No, I think we did 10 last year.
Did we?
Yeah.
I thought it was a little bit of a challenge maybe to not do.
I think it was just a really good year last year.
It probably was. That's accurate though. These last guys, horror fans have been eaten these last few years. Okay, that's basically just been what's going on. Is we've just been treated really well for the most part. So hopefully 2024 continues that train. There's a few of them that kind of came on the radar this year. What are you doing?
Can you see me?
Yes, we could see you. We could see your hand waving in the background. What's up? Doing Fear Freaks. You want to come in and say hello?
Maybe.
Come in and say hello. Guys, this is my sister Maggie. Come on, come speak into the mic. Don't be freaking shy. Okay, you need to scoot over a little bit.
Hey, what's up, you guys? This is ASMR time.
Wow,
We've tried to go a whole night without having any technicalities or interruptions, and look at what you're doing.
I'm just curious because I watch weekly after you guys put it on YouTube.
Well, everyone, we got Hey Maggie, Hey Maggie, Hey Maggie.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
So what are you guys talking about?
We're talking about our top 10 favorite horror movies of this year. Did you have a favorite horror movie this year?
Yeah, I can give you 10. Scream.
Okay.
I haven't seen Thanksgiving, but if I did, I think that would probably be on there at some level.
Okay.
Does it have to be from this year?
Yes, we're talking 2023 horror this year.
I don't even know what came out this year.
Did you see Megan? Did you like? No. Did you see Talk to Me?
No.
What's the last horror movie that you saw this year?
Scream.
Scream? Holy shit.
I think.
So her top 10 list, Scream.
Yeah, Scream. just all the way down.
Oh my god.
I really like the movie Anyone But You. You
Okay,
should go
that's
see
not
it.
horror. That's
Streaming in theaters now.
Playing in theaters now. It can't be streaming in theater. Oh my god.
Goodbye.
All right. Thanks for coming in, Mags. We appreciate you. I do want to take a minute and plug Maggie's. This was not intentional. I want to plug Maggie's TikTok. If any of you are big time readers, you guys can go follow her on TikTok at what's it? Mags, right? Mags.
It's Mag's World.
Mags World.
I will say, Braden just did the same thing to me earlier. I was live, and he did the same thing. He plugged his YouTube channel.
Yeah, so if anyone is currently in the chat from Maggie's live earlier that saw me promote Fear Freaks, this is Juice. Juice, what's going on, buddy? How are you? All right, bye. Okay. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Des, I was asking you, what have you watched here? What have you watched here recently?
Nothing really. I started Gremlins. I didn't finish it. I started Krampus. I didn't finish it. So I haven't really watched anything. Haven't really had the time between just Christmas stuff. So yeah, I have nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Holy cow, man. There's actually a few of them I'm seeing here in the chat that I didn't even really think about putting on the list. Because I might have one more honorable mention to add just because. How many honorable mentions do you have?
2.
2? Okay, well, I'm going to do 3. So, 3 honorable mentions. Okay. With that being said, everybody, I didn't watch really a whole lot this week either. So, I mean, there's not really a whole lot that I can speak on right now. Doing most of our watches this week. So, maybe next week for the new year, we'll have a bit more to talk about. But without further ado, we have 10 specific movies that made our list of best horror for 2023. As we go on, I'm already seeing a couple of you guys putting this in the chat, saying what your guys' favorite horror movies were of this year. You guys have some phenomenal suggestions so far. But again, guys, keep in mind, this is our personal opinion. I know I don't have to remind anybody necessarily in the chat about it. It's just those that are watching in the future that just like to sit behind the keyboard and, type and just be rude. Be respectful. Give your opinion, give your thoughts, be respectful of ours. Okay. Without being said, Des, what is your first honorable mention?
My first honorable mention is going to be Cocaine Bear. A movie I definitely thought was going to just be pretty dumb. And it is, like, don't get me wrong. But whenever I watched it, I was laughing, like genuinely laughing. There's so much of it that I was laughing at. The gore is very over the top. It has Mitchell from Modern Family, which was great to see. Does not play out very well for him, but happy to see him nonetheless. And so, yeah, it was overall just a surprise for me because I really went in, not really with any hopes or anything. I thought it was just going to be like whatever. And it finished, and I was like, huh, I would definitely watch that again. I enjoyed my time with that. So, yeah.
Slaughterhouse is on the honorable mention list. Hey, you know what? Raymond, I love that you gave that, even an honorable mention. I've not seen Slaughterhouse yet. I know that came out earlier this year, but you know what? I appreciate that is actually on your honorable mention list. It looks like Destiny's frozen. Are you frozen? She's definitely frozen because there's no way she's just sitting there like that. Someone take a screenshot of this. At first, it didn't even look like she was like, I thought that she was just still. I thought she was like a robot or something like that. Yeah, she's frozen. She's gone. She's out of here now. Literally freeze tag champion, right? With that being said, let's go through T. Parker's. He says Cocaine Bear, It's a Wonderful Knife, and Scream 6. Also very good honorable mentions, I would say. My first honorable mention, this is probably on a lot of people's actual list. Cobweb. Cobweb is an honorable mention for me. There is some of you that have given honorable mentions to movies that I actually have in my top 10. But again, it's just because of the level of fun and enjoyment that I had with them. Cobweb is really, really good. The ending of the movie, though, did very much ruin it for me. And we're going to refrain from spoiling any specific plot points in these movies during this stream in case some of you haven't seen every movie, because I haven't even seen every movie either. So Cobweb, the ending does ruin it for me just a tad bit. I like the entire movie. I think that the Halloween atmosphere and a lot of the way that it's shot is great. And I think the performances are awesome. It's just that third act that just really kind of dove it down just a tad bit for me. So Cobweb gets an honorable mention. Definitely not in my top 10 though. Still waiting on Destiny to jump back in here. Let's see here. Here she is. What's going on? Welcome in. I'm sure some people already took some screenshots of your frozen head. Just
I'm quitting the show. Quit screenshot of my face when it pauses.
Hey, listen to me. If you quit, then Fear Freaks is just done. It's canceled. And hey, it's okay. It happens. It happens to the best of us.
I'm gonna eat this laptop. I'm gonna bite into it. I'm gonna eat it.
Guys, she's gonna turn into Pennywise right here on the stream. You're gonna just see the big mouth coming over the.
It's just like one stream, just one stream. I'm gonna eat this table while I'm at it. Okay.
I mean, go ahead. Eat the table first so we can see it. You know.
See my mom. Are you done? I'm going back upstairs.
All right, head on back upstairs. It's okay. So did you hear my honorable mention? Okay. Well, I'll repeat it when you get back upstairs. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Is she gonna make it? Fun fact, my first time ever on those steps, I did almost eat shit. She had to catch me. It was pretty bad.
I did. That was hilarious.
I was gonna say, do you remember that? I literally was walking up your stairs for the very first time, and she was behind me. She had to catch me, basically. Otherwise, we were both gonna go tumbling right down the stairs. First time ever at her house, and
right into his armpit too.
Yeah, and I was nervous. I had some shit going on underneath my arms. That's for sure. I was like, you caught me, and I was just like, oh God. I was like, she just felt that entire thing.
I did.
Her hands are probably soaked right now. So
they were, but it's okay.
Oh God. All right. Well, anyway. So, Des, my honorable mention was Cobweb. I was saying that it was solid, did not do too hot for me in the third act, so Cobweb gets an honorable mention. What is your next honorable mention?
My next honorable mention is also Cobweb. For the same reasons you said, if the ending was different or stronger, just something, this would have at least made the top 10 because I really enjoyed it until the third act, and that's where it really lost me. So, yeah. Overall, though, I still recommend it. The spooky vibes are there. The atmosphere is great. And if you want to watch something that you're not really going to forget ending-wise, it's a good one. Just weird and not super logical, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, hey, whatever.
They're both fun.
The only thing that's frustrating is that the rest of the movie is so good.
Yeah.
It's like you're like invested, and then I did say that we're not going to spoil any specific plot points for these, and just in case there are people in the chat
Yeah.
that hasn't seen it. But then it's like the ending, just like it's got you. All they've set you up for 2 acts. All they need to do is stick the landing, and then they dick the landing, and you're just like, well, what the hell? So yeah, that's basically it. I have 2 more honorable mentions. I'm going to keep these quick. It's a Wonderful Knife. Made it as a honorable mention. I thought that it was good. Unfortunately, there were just more movies on this list, on my personal list, that I found a lot more enjoyable. Even though I did have a good time with it. Yeah, I just feel like it could have maybe been a tad bit better. That's it. And then my last one is Megan. Who doesn't like a killer robot in a fun type of film? Hopefully, the second one is a tad bit better. These are the types of movies that Blumhouse tends to thrive with, but I watched the uncut version of Megan 2, and it just is not that much different. It's just like this is a movie that could be so good if it's rated R, and it's not. So Megan, I did enjoy it. I think I enjoyed it more than a lot of people did, but yeah, hopefully part 2 is or what's it called? Megan 2.0.
2.0.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, hopefully 2.0 does it a little bit more for me. That'll be out next January. So okay. Did you have any more honorable mentions or anything else that you want to chat, or could we kick us into number 10?
Go into the top 10.
All right. Starting off with number 10. Des, what do you have as your number 10 on your top 10 for 2023?
So for my number 10, I have It's a Wonderful Knife. So really I would say my first 4 movies on this list, or not my last 4. So the last 4, I have these all like at a 3.5 out of 5. And so I just kind of ranked them based on like rewatchability, I guess. But this one will definitely be an annual Christmas watch. I love the Christmas vibes in it. It has Justin Long playing a douchebag, and he's great. There's some pretty great kills overall, and I like the whole story for It's a Wonderful Life, but it's the horror version Horror Virgin. That's a podcast. Horror version. And overall, I thought it was really fun. Oh, and you have Catherine Isabel. And I love Catherine Isabel. So if you put her in your movie, that's already like a star on its own. So yeah, definitely one I'll watch at least once a year during December. It's not, something that completely blew my socks off, but I had a really good time watching it. And I really like the main girl. I forget. I probably don't have anyone's names for anything, but the 2 main leads, I would say, I really enjoyed both of them. I thought they had great chemistry, so I enjoyed them a lot. They were wonderful to watch.
Yeah. I will just say really quickly in response to you saying that it's a yearly watch for sure. Yeah, easily. I think that it's done its job enough to make it a yearly annual Christmas time horror watch. I think it's that fun, and I definitely wouldn't despise it being on or anything like that, because it is solid. Like I said, I gave it an honorable mention. But I'm glad that it made your top 10, and it looks like it made a couple other people's top 10s as well, and saying that it's fun. As long as you have fun with it, that's all that really matters, because that's exactly what this movie is, guys. It's a lot of fun. There are some good horror references that us fans of the genre are able to pick up on. Destiny called out a couple of them, which later on then James from Dead Meat also mentioned as well. So it's always cool to see all the horror fans kind of putting together, hey, they can reference this from these movies. And it always just is like a little nod to, hey, I'm a fan as the filmmaker of the genre as well. So That's a great one. Number 10 for me goes to Cocaine Bear. I had a blast with this movie. I honestly, because guys, going into this year, I don't think anybody thought that this movie was going to be good. I don't think anybody thought, hey, this movie is just going to be anything more than just a bear going around killing people because it's on cocaine. It's basically what it is, but there's actually substance, and the substance is the fact that it's kind of a horror comedy, right? And there's some good jokes in the movie. I found myself laughing a lot in the movie as well. I really did have a good time with this one. I think Elizabeth Banks's direction is pretty superb here for sure. She does a great job behind the camera. I can't really say a whole lot about this movie without spoiling it, but it's a ton of fun, very tongue in cheek, and it's definitely got some good carnage candy in there as well. So it's kind of got the whole package for a good horror comedy. Check this one out if you guys get a chance to, because and actually my sister's boyfriend this was one of my surprise gifts this year. For Christmas, he got me Cocaine Bear for Christmas, and it's because I didn't get a whole lot of movies this year. I think that was actually the only movie purchase that someone bought me. And he was like, I was just trying to add your horror or to your movie collection. I'm like, hey, that's a great one to add to it because I did like the movie a lot. So yeah, Cocaine Bear comes in at number 10 for me. So
All right. For number 9, I have another sort of time travel-y movie with the blonde lead, and it is Totally Killer. This one is another one in that sort of subgenre with like time travel slashers. This one is really cool because, again, we have another star from Modern Family. Without saying too much, it's pretty. I was like, oh, ouch. And it's an 80s, a callback to the 80s slasher, which I know people like are sick and tired of the 80s. I still love it. I don't care. I think it's so much fun, and it's like Back to the Future with a slasher movie. So yeah, and there's also some pretty great kills in this, and I think the story overall, the like message with like the mother and the daughter, I thought that was really sweet. And you put anything like that in like a movie, I'm already like drawn in, and I thought it stuck the landing. I had a lot of fun, and this is just one I'll watch again for turn your brain off, just have a good time, watch it with a group of people type of movie.
yeah, I agree, and I'm glad that that's your number 9 because that's also my number 9 on the list as well. Is Totally Killer. For those of you that don't know, Back to the Future is my favorite movie of all time. I love the film. I think that it is incredible on every level. So obviously, Totally Killer was going to have to make my list. I feel like if it wasn't on my list, Destiny would have probably messaged me and been like, no, Totally Killer. Like, I mean, what the hell is going on? No, yeah, it's fantastic. I had a great time with it. A lot of really cool Back to the Future references, a lot of really cool modern references as well. And again, this is the type of movie that Blumhouse thrives at making. So there's a difference between Blumhouse when they make these movies and when they make like movies like Halloween and The Exorcist and stuff like that. They just don't feel like that they should be Blumhouse properties. Okay. These are what they thrive at. Love Totally Killer. Yeah, not really much else I can say about it other than what you did. So
All right, for my number, hold on, I heard myself echoing. Okay, so for my number 8, I have Saw 10. Maybe not as high as some people might have it, but for a 1.5, in the timeline movie, I thought it did a good job at sort of like placing itself, because when the idea even came forward, I was like, oh guys, come on. And Saw is just not my favorite franchise. I'm a big fan of 1 through 3, but as a whole, I'm like, whatever. And then the trailer came out, and I was like, okay, that looks decent, but I still didn't really have anything going into it. I was just hoping to have a good time. And you and I got to see this together when we were in Chicago, which was really fun. And yeah, overall, I necessarily think we like needed it? No. But do I really like John Kramer in this movie? And it's so much more of like because like obviously he's prevalent even if he's not alive. He's still prevalent throughout the franchise. But to have this movie to where it really feels like it is his movie because he is the main focus. I like that we had a lot of time to kind of sit with him, see what he's scheming, seeing like he's looking around, kind of putting all these things together. And the way the story unfolds, you really are on his side with this one. Sometimes, or most of the time, the people that are put in traps are usually scummy. Some of them are John's just being an ass, but a lot of times they are scummy. But this time it's like, oh yeah, for the most part, fuck these people because they're bad. And so that was kind of fun. And yeah, so do I think we needed it? Not necessarily, but did I have a good time with it? Yeah. And will I be watching it again? Yes, I will be.
I'm so glad that Saw 10 was on one of our lists because it's not on my list. It's not on my list. It's not on my
Wow.
list. I didn't
You liked
even
it more
really
than I did.
I know. I didn't even really think about it when I was putting this list together. I do love the movie. I do very much
Doesn't
love
seem
the movie.
like it.
I do love the movie. Stop it. Because I championed this movie. I thought that, I was the one that saw the trailer and literally told you that I thought it was going to be good. And you didn't believe me. You were like, eh. And I was like, no, I saw the trailer and I was like, no, I think it's going to be good. I saw it. I enjoyed it a lot. And then we saw it together and she liked it. Didn't love it as much as I did. So that's why I'm like looking at this list now and I'm like, holy shit, there is more. I'm a fake fan. I'm a fake Saw fan, you know? Wow, holy cow. And I do agree with Ashton. It's one of the biggest surprises of the year for a fact, because like 10th installment of a kind of overall wishy-washy, franchise that has good installments, but it's definitely got those installments where it's just like, oof, like, Margaret, good night. Thank you so much for being in here.
Good night.
We hope to see you next week. Yeah, I don't know. Like, and either way, I did very much, and I enjoyed Saw 10. Just people know that. You guys can see my review online. It's on my channel. Go watch it. I did enjoy it. But number 8 for me is going to M. Night Shyamalan's Knock at the Cabin. I enjoyed the heck out of Knock at the Cabin. And I think that it's very well acted. Dave Bautista is, I think, the best that he gave a career best performance in Knock at the Cabin thus far. I enjoyed it a ton. Stop looking at me because that took Saw's spot on my list.
No,
Stop
I
it.
will be looking at you.
No.
That's crazy.
Hey, stop it. That's insane because I love M. Night Shyamalan too, so I don't even want to hear it. And I think that it makes me wonder, should I replace one of my upcoming ones with Saw?
I think you should have put,
I feel like I have to.
in my
honestly.
personal opinion, I feel like Saw 10 should go where Knock at the Cabin. Or what is it called? A Knock at the Cabin?
I don't know. I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at the remainder of them. I probably could put it next at number 7. So now that I'm sitting here and thinking about it a little bit more, yeah, I'm thinking. I don't know.
What number was that?
8.
Okay, continue with why Knock at the Cabin.
It's well acted. It's got some great suspense. It's a very well shot movie. I think that overall, because I read a bit of the book earlier this year as well before the movie came out, and it followed a lot of what the book was going for. I don't know if the ending is necessarily as accurate because I did not finish it. But from what I read, yeah, it was accurate. Anyway, all right, go on with your number 7. Knock at the Cabin's my number 8.
All right, my number 7, and another one that would probably be higher on people's list is Thanksgiving. First and foremost, though, Spyglass is still. And Eli Roth, look, I already stated I wasn't. He gives me vibes, in my opinion. But Thanksgiving, as a movie itself, putting that stuff aside, as a movie, I did have fun with it. There was some parts that did make me laugh. Some parts I was a little bit like, this is giving like teen drama, like not horror movie, but just like a drama. And that parts I didn't really care for. And the kills were great though. It had some pretty fun kills. Some of it obviously was shown in the trailer. But overall it had some really fun kills. And then I will say I did call the ending about halfway through the movie. I was like, oh, I think this, and I was correct. But it was fun. And I was actually really excited to see Addison Rae in it. And I thought she did a great job, honestly. From the trailer, I was like, oh yeah, she's going to be good in this. And she has a great scream. Because there's like a TikTok going around of like the whole cast screaming. So I really liked her in it a lot. I almost wish she was the lead instead of the lead we got. Didn't hate her, but she kind of gave me those vibes. But yeah, overall, do I think maybe it was a little bit overhyped? I do, and I think that was just because of the excitement of waiting so long for it to come out, and it finally did. But yeah.
Heck
It's
yeah.
just kind of hard to like, you know what I mean? Because
Sure.
yeah.
Sure. Don't worry, guys. That's much higher on my list. So, but what was that? 7?
Yo,
I did it. I replaced it. Saw what the? What was that?
I wanted to say yes and then also yep, but for some reason it came out yope.
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 Oh God. Guys, I did it. I had to do it. Number 7 is Saw 10. Number 7 goes to Saw 10. I did replace it. I do think that this movie is great. Tobin Bell is the best that he's been in this franchise. And he's good in, say whatever you want about the Saw movies. He is never a weak part. That and the music. The music and Tobin Bell is never weak in these movies. But he is really, really good here. I actually cared about John. The villains of this movie, those that are in the traps, I've never seen such scummy people in the entire franchise. And you've seen some pretty low-life people that he's put through these traps. But these people are scumbags. They deserved everything that they got to them.
Except for one.
Okay, except for maybe one, sure. But for the most part, I mean, like it was great they really did test the audience here. They're like, I wonder if we can get him to side fully with John. And I was 100% on board with his entire character. I saw the movie with my dad, and even he was on this. He was like, is it bad that like we were on the side of John Kramer? I'm like, no, that's great, because they wanted to, I guess, fuck with the audience too and kind of put that twist on. And of course, it's got a good twist at the end and everything like that. So yeah, Saw 10. I do apologize to the movie for it not initially being on my list, but you know what? It is now. I do love this movie a lot. So yes, Saw 10 is number 7. Hopefully, fingers crossed, y'all. We're back to that yearly thing now, where if it's Halloween, it must be Saw. So let's hope that 11 can continue Saw 10's legacy that it left. So yeah, number 7. Number 6 for you, Des. What do you got?
Number 6. So this is whenever the rest of the movies from here on are at least 4 or higher. So starting with that is No One Will Save You. another movie that you and I watched together. Pretty sure I had to finish it because I fell asleep on my own time. But this is one that everyone was talking about. All of a sudden, it's everywhere. And I was like, oh, and then people are talking about like an alien, sort of like home invasion-y type movie. And I was very curious. So we watched it. And overall, I thought with how little, okay, a little pet peeve. Even you did it when we were watching it. You said there's no dialogue. And I was like, no, there is dialogue because we did hear her say something. There's minimal dialogue, but there's still dialogue. That's just something that drives me a little bit crazy. So with how little the dialogue is, you really have to like, your lead obviously has to be interesting enough to keep our attention for this movie without there being that many people else on screen. And I think does a great job. I cannot remember the actress's name, but she was in Booksmart. That's where I recognize her from. And she's great in that. And she is great in this. There's some scares in here that I remember getting Braden. He jumped a lot and it was pretty funny to see. And there was one specific alien that was actually pretty creepy because it reminded me of like something from Stranger Things almost. And that sucker was big. But the ending might be a little bit confusing the way it ends. I feel like it's kind of up for like interpretation. But overall, I thought the movie was really well done. And this one, I think, might be like, well, no, one of the biggest surprises, I think, just because hadn't heard anything about it. All of a sudden, everyone's talking about it. And it was a fun little time. So, yeah, definitely recommend that one.
That is also my number 6 is No One Will Save You. No One Will Save You is a fantastic alien invasion type of movie. There are a couple issues I have, and a lot of it just has to do with the effects of the movie. Like there's the one scene where the UFOs are flying like in there's like a UFO. Okay, I can't spoil anything, but there's a specific scene where it shows a certain extraterrestrial platform where it just I'm talking about the effects. It doesn't spoil anything.
There, just say the effects then.
So the effects could have been a little bit better in a few scenes, and I could just notice some computer generated stuff that I'm like, okay, I like, but that's about it. Everything else is pretty dang great. And like Des said, yes, it does have a couple jump scares that did get me. There's a couple really good ones.
Yeah.
A couple really good ones here. And the lighting, you guys know this. I'm a big Cool Blue fan. So like when our character is outside and the moonlight is basically the only thing that's shining on her secluded house. I mean, it's pretty dang. It's beautiful to look at, and it. I feel like just the whole movie in general, it's got some good suspense. The aliens feel, like I don't know how much I can say without the aliens just are they're basic aliens. They're what we see. They're like how humans have always
like pop
interpreted
culture aliens.
Yes, thank you. They're how humans have always envisioned aliens to look like, and I like how they just kind of kept that basic design as to what we would think an alien would look like. And I find it funny because if we've never seen aliens before, how would we know what an alien looks like? I'm just saying, like it's a good question. Why is that the specific design? But yeah, anyway, I know I'm not going to go on a tangent. I see those eyes. Everyone just note. Everyone rewind it just a tad bit. Take a look at the eyes. That's the look that I get 90% of this relationship. 90% of this relationship is that look. It's the you better shut the fuck up. That's it.
You know why? Because you're just a talking.
Okay, you know what? I like to talk. All right. Caitlin Deaver. Thank you, Davey.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've not seen that. But yeah, she's great.
Gavin, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in.
Hi, Gavin.
Okay. You know what? I'm done talking about it now. Great movie. Let's move on. We're in top 5 now, so let's go.
All right, my number 5 is When Evil Lurks, another movie that all of a sudden everyone was talking about. Another movie that we had started together, but again, I think had to watch separately because I think we both fell asleep actually, or at least I did. This movie was nasty. It was disgusting. It was vile. And that doesn't even have anything to do with like the horror. Well, not even necessarily. It's just gross. And I have some screen videos of Braden and I watching it because nasty stuff kept happening. So I started to record our reactions because it's very gross. And I have a weak stomach. And it was nasty. But then, besides all the gross parts, there are some, I think, of the most shocking scenes from a movie in this. And I can name at least 3 from this movie to where I was like, what the fuck? And there's videos of Braden even saying, what the fuck? Because it's a very dark, messed up movie. And if you...
Did she just freeze again? Did she freeze while she was just saying this? Her face says it all. Guys, she froze as she was saying this. Holy cow. There it is. Unless I just froze. Did I freeze? Or am I good? No, I'm seeing yep. I'm seeing yep. Indeed, she froze while she was mid-conversation. Let's go ahead and get her out of here until she could unfreeze, because it was gonna it was gonna kick her anyway. So hello everyone. Okay, while she's fixing her issues, I will go ahead and wait, hold on. She may be back. Are you back? Are you with us? Clear. She's resurrected. What's going on?
Hey.
Hey, listen, if you're gonna cry, it's okay. This is a safe place. You can go ahead and start crying.
I'm not gonna cry. It's fine. I'm on my phone now. What evil Aaron? I don't know what's happening. It I swear, it only ever fucking does this whenever I have to stream. Don't say that. Anyways, this movie's fucked up.
That was because I was asking. I was like, did I freeze or did she? And then they're all saying no, she did. And then I was like, did she? And Brandon was like, yup.
Yup. This is so cool. Have you seen those TikToks where it's like, it's so preppy in here? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's so preppy in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Great. Finish up your thoughts.
I don't even know. When Evil Lurks, it's fucked up. It's gross. It is shocking. And if you like that kind of thing, it is definitely worth a watch if you have not seen it, because there's some stuff I had never seen in a movie before until this one. So, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. My number 5. And this is a movie that was a big part of Des and I's year, is Evil Dead Rise. Evil Dead Rise is great. It's fantastic. That's why it's in the top 5. I think that what?
Huh?
Oh, I thought you were doing doing like a okay, sorry. Yeah, Evil Dead Rise is great. Lee Cronin's direction, is amazing. His writing is really good. This feels like a good kind of like a good re-entry into the Evil Dead world. I think that there's so much to like about this movie. The opening title card, if we were talking about title cards, it would be the best title card of the year, if not probably the 2020 so far. Truly a really, really remarkable horror movie. It's got brutality. It's got some. I jumped a couple times too. I know I did in this one, but guys, it's because we saw it in the theater and the speakers were loud as hell. However, one of my only complaints about when I saw this movie was there was people that just kept getting up and walking, like, and I get antsy when I'm watching a movie in a theater and people are getting up and moving. Like, I feel like I need to like look and see where they're going. So, but there was just people that just kept getting up and going up the stairs and walking. And it was just like, hey, guys, just sit down, please, so I can enjoy this movie. But yes, Destiny and I saw this together. This was the first movie that we saw together in the theater. I do very much like this movie. This was also a haunted house at Universal Studios Hollywood Halloween Horror Nights this past year as well. So like I said, Evil Dead Rise was just kind of a big part of the year in general for me. Top 5. I'm so happy that it was good. Yeah, I just thought that it was a really, really stellar entry to the Evil Dead universe. So number 5 for me.
All right, my number 4 is Evil Dead Rise. For, everything you said, the title card was absolutely amazing. I thought that whole opening sequence was great. All the little nods and callbacks to the other movies, the other franchise were so well done because so much of them were small. So it wasn't like too much like on the nose. There were parts that I was a little bit let down. I remember you did enjoy it a little bit more than I did, actually, whenever we went and saw it. But the more I thought about it, the more I definitely started to like it more. And then I watched it for the second time and I appreciate it a lot more. And like you said, this was the first movie that we saw together in theaters. And so, it has a little bit of like a soft, it literally could have been the worst movie of the year. And it probably would have still made my top 10 just because, for that reason. So yeah, Evil Dead Rise. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And then, like you said, the house at Universal, that was really cool to see it kind of come to life a little bit. So yeah, Evil Dead Rise. It was a movie, obviously we had waited a while for, and what we got, I was pretty happy with.
Well, keep in mind too, guys, that Evil Dead Rise was initially supposed to go right to HBO Max when it was HBO Max. It was just supposed to go right to streaming. That would have been a big mistake because this movie did make a lot of money for a horror movie in theaters. It actually broke a couple records, I think, for horror movies. So, yeah, Warner Brothers definitely got a good return on investment for releasing this in theaters. And I'm happy that we got a chance to see it in theaters. So definitely well worth it. Really, really stellar. You did number 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was Evil Dead Rise. For me, my number 4, When Evil Lurks. This movie kind of was a surprise to me. I think it's a great foreign horror movie. Honestly, I feel like the US is just now starting to see that, oh shit, international markets are taking risks and showcasing just some really messed up stuff. And I feel like that US horror has always just kind of been like, no, well, we can't really show that. I mean, look what's going on with Terrifier 3. For those of you that don't know, studios backed out of investing Terrifier 3 because of how controversial this opening is supposed to be. Apparently the opening 5 minutes of Terrifier 3 is more intense than anything we saw in Terrifier 2. And Terrifier 2 is fucked up. But I feel like that more studios, I should say, are seeing hey, there's actually we can showcase this, and it's more of the shock value. Because When Evil Lurks shocked the shit out of me, like you were talking about. You actually have the video of me saying, "Oh fuck," because it's just so jaw dropping. I'm like sitting there and I'm like, I couldn't believe it. We're not talking about spoilers. I almost just said something, but there is a scene with something that occurs that I've never seen before. But yeah, it definitely had my jaw on the ground because I was sitting there and I was thinking about it too. The messed up thing is I was thinking about it potentially happening, and when it did happen, I was just like, what the hell? And I looked at Destiny too as this scene is still playing out, and it is a pretty long scene too. Like, it's a pretty long sequence of everything that occurs within 5 minutes or something like that. But yeah, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And yeah, When Evil Lurks, one of the biggest surprises of the year, had to be in my top 5. And I think number 4 is a really good home for it. So, but this is also one, upon rewatch, this could be up there in terms of like horror movies, like in the future as well. It's still brand new, but really, really good. Check it out. Highly recommend it. That's my number 4. What is your number 3, Des?
My number 3 is Talk to Me. This one, again, I would say was another really big surprise. I just remember seeing the trailer. I remember we were talking about the trailer actually. And then I remember just like laying down, I was watching the trailer. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool because it is like a Ouija board just done in a way that we haven't seen before. And this is an Australian A24 film, and it was just very, it was something we've seen, but it was so different. And the character of Mia, I believe, she's so well acted. And this like friend group using this hand as a device to almost like get high in a way and to connect to the other side. And then you throw in family trauma into the mix, and you can really understand why like what the characters' motivations are for certain things. And again, this movie had some pretty big shocking moments. I would say the opening was also very well done. And unfortunately, this movie had one of my worst theater experiences this year because a couple in front of us, or me and my friend Diana, they wouldn't stop fucking talking like the entire time. And it's very distracting. Um, I did just get the 4K though for Christmas. So I'm very excited to rewatch it in the quietness of my own home because that really did kind of take away from my first viewing. So I'm very excited to watch it again. And even though I had a shitty experience at the theater, it's still this high up on my list because I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since the movie came out because of the certain moments and just the story overall. So I very much enjoyed it. And I freaking am so upset I didn't get that hand whenever it was out because I'm sure it's not available anymore because A24 stuff is very, if you don't get it when it's released, it's hard to get. They did have a hand that you could actually smoke out of, which is pretty cool, or you can use it as an incense burner, whatever you want to do. And that is one of my biggest regrets is not getting that fucking hand because it looks so cool. So yeah, talk to me.
Yeah.
Oh, and I will say one more thing. One more thing. Like we were talking about earlier when It's a Wonderful Knife, talking about certain scenes, kind of paying homage to, there is a certain scene in this movie, and I will not say the movie that it is because that is almost a spoiler for that as well. There is a scene in this movie that happened so fast that is so similar to another movie from the 80s. And I was like, oh my God, that movie. And then watching something for, I think it was a kill count for Talk to Me. James pointed it out too. And I was like, wow, maybe I am smart sometimes. But I won't say what movie it is because that's a movie you have to watch.
Heck yeah. Number 3 on my list is Scream 6. I very much enjoy Scream 6. Unfortunately, this is the last time that we're going to see this cast all together. I'm glad though that they at least gave it an ending where I feel like it could be appropriate. Like they don't actually have to go on and do another one. If it just ends with the sisters walking down the street of New York with the ghost face mask right there, that's it. You know, we got 2 movies with this cast. Now people are appreciating Scream 5 a lot more because we got to know them more in Scream 6. Obviously, the Scream scenario that's going on right now is just not great. So yeah, it's looking like that this is going to be the last time we see this cast all together, but at least they're able to go out on a high note, right? At least we got 2 movies from the new cast that also kind of carried on the old cast members and their legacies. And we got 2 more enjoyable movies out of the main story. Because really, if you look at the Scream franchise, Scream 1 through 4 is like, that's like the main set of films. Scream 5 and 6, continuations, sure, but it follows like a new cast, really. But still, I think that they were both really solid. Scream 6, no exception. I think that the chase sequences, my God, the chase sequences in Scream 6 are so fucking good, especially the apartment one. I mean, it's both apartment ones, actually. I think that they're so good, and it just felt Scream. I feel like that Radio Silence did good with 5. I think they really excelled at 6 because 6 is just the better movie all around, in my opinion. So yeah, Scream 6. Love this franchise. Love this movie. It was number 3 of the year for me. So
All right, my number 2 is Scream 6. For everything you said, I really loved 5 and I really loved 6. This movie, it really like when it starts, it like really starts. Like when a certain thing happens, it almost doesn't let up, and you feel the danger almost like I think immediately, sort of like after the opening, because things just start happening super fast. Um, and although some people might not have been happy with all the survivors, considering everything that happened, I am happy. It oh again, Spyglass. Mm-mm, bad on y'all. But with the ending that we got with Scream 6 and that, like you said, that sort of closing between you have the 2 sisters. It was just so sweet with Sam and Tara. I love the ending. You have Kirby coming back. You had Samara Weaving in the movie for a little bit. This movie just had so many great moments, and it's very unfortunate with everything that's happened since, because it's very bittersweet. You know, when we watched this movie in theaters this year, we didn't think, this would be like the last one really for at least a while, and at least with this sort of like story. So that very much sucks. I love Scream 6. I thought Radio Silence did great, and I'm a big fan of them. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but Scream 6 was wonderful. And yeah.
I mean, now it's not to say that this can't happen. I'm only going to touch on this briefly. I know that Spyglass has already tried to get Melissa Barrera back. I know that those conversations have already been underway. However, depending on how much they really want to push, and depending on how, depending on how Melissa's relationship was with Radio Silence was, maybe because they're executive producing the films. Maybe what needs to happen is she needs to go off and do her film that she's already signed on for. Do that, and maybe if I was executive producing and I was Radio Silence and I had a good relationship with the actress, I may have a personal conversation with her and just kind of like see what may need to be done to, I guess, right the wrong, even though there's nothing that really could be.
Well, for one, Spyglass just shouldn't have it. They shouldn't have the rights. They fucked it up.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
So
and
start there.
well, they definitely did. So, like, maybe if the rights were sold elsewhere, could she potentially come on if they were going to continue her story? But just not with Spyglass. You know what I mean? Like, if the rights got picked up somewhere
I would
else
be happy.
and a different studio was, because we know that she's not going to go back to Spyglass. I would not want to work for an organization like that. I think that that's a hostile work environment. I think that that's just something that, I wouldn't want to be a part of because I wouldn't believe in their, in their overall motto for stuff. Like, you're going to let someone go again just because calling for a ceasefire? Are you kidding me right now? And you called that anti-Semitism? Get the hell out of here. Like, so anyway, because that, god damn it, I shouldn't even have brought it up because I'm just upset because I did like Scream 6 a lot, and I obviously, like you were saying, I just don't think that that we should be here right now. So yeah. You did your number 2, and that was Scream 6. My number 2 is Talk to Me. I freaking loved this movie. I thought that it was a home run for an indie horror film this year. I mean, A24 is really good with horror. I'm really excited that they have the rights to Friday the 13th because I feel like that they're gonna make Friday the 13th dark and grimy, and I feel like they're gonna make us terrified of of Jason. I know it's a prequel, but I feel like that they're gonna make it terrifying, and they're gonna make it in almost kind of like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre-y kind of way. That's kind of the vibe I got from X when we saw X initially, especially the gas station stuff and everything. Like, it felt kind of very Texas Chainsaw-y a bit. But not saying that it should feel like that. But yeah, Talk to Me right off the bat. I loved it. The opening is messed up, and it just is. It just makes you think about what you're going to see the rest of the movie. And it is a slow movie. It's slow for like the first 40 minutes after the opening. And then something happens, and you're like, holy shit, this is insane. So, and the ending is great. And Talk to Me, I saw Aaron's comment earlier, and it is a very well-rounded, all-around horror movie. It's got some lighthearted moments to it. It's got great characters. It's got great scenarios. It's got great chill vibes all around. That hand, like you said, is a really, really cool new horror prop that's going to be memorable for a long time. But I do remember walking out of the press screening earlier this year, and I was giving my notes to the film representatives, and I was just saying that this is going to be a new horror classic for years to come. And they were like, I think that you're right. And I mean, I'm glad that a lot of people here are enjoying it as well. So yeah, Talk to Me, number 2. What is your number 1 horror movie of the year?
My number 1 is Infinity Pool. I didn't let you do a drum roll, really. I just got right into it. Infinity Pool. Last year, my number 1 was X. So I guess I'm keeping a theme with Mia Goth starring in my favorite. And it's just something about Mia Goth. You put her in a movie, I'm immediately drawn in. And this movie is it's a Cronenberg movie, so it's going to be weird. And it is very weird. It is so strange. It goes places. Some more shocking things I haven't really seen in film, and just stuff that you wouldn't maybe expect to see, and expect to see it go on for so long. Especially a scene towards the end, I was like, oh my god, he's really getting in there, huh? Wow. Still going, yeah. In this movie, it is very horny. There is things in this movie, it is, without saying too much. It gets pretty graphic, pretty all up in there. And I liked it. It was very strange, very weird, but very memorable. And there's not many of these movies I've watched twice from this list, but this is definitely one of them. So, yeah. And did this not make your list at all?
Infinity Pool?
Yeah. Wow. All right. Anyways, my number one of the year.
I had it on my list, but I did have it, but I had to replace it when I bumped Saw onto the list, and yeah,
You took.
I did take Infinity
I'm
Pool
gonna be
off.
sick.
Yep, I did indeed. So I do need to rewatch Infinity Pool, though. It's one of those that I definitely need to rewatch. I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it. I watched it with you.
In my small ass TV.
Yeah, and so I had to squint a little bit to see some stuff. You have a bigger TV now. But yeah, I do need to rewatch that movie, that's for sure. So yeah. And then my number one is Thanksgiving. I loved this movie. I had so much fun seeing this in the theater. It basically feels like a love letter to a lot of different slashers that we know and love. I mean, the suit is a jumpsuit. Michael Myers, he uses an axe for the movie, which is kind of like just we see that a lot in a bunch of different horror movies. So shut up, Destiny. I'm trying to talk here, but I do love Thanksgiving. I think that it's great. So there's a lot to like about the movie. It's brutal. Eli Roth's direction's great. It's fun. You know what? I don't even want to talk anymore. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with this episode. Oh,
He's rage quitting.
yeah, I'm rage quitting. That's it. No, but in all honesty, Thanksgiving is just great all around slasher. I think that it's fun. It's got some really fun jokes. It's got some really good chase scenes as well. It kind of gave me a mix of Scream, Halloween, and Friday the 13th. Like those are kind of like the three that I got a little bit of a mix on throughout this movie. We did have our main group that were the victims, but I cared about a few of the characters. There's most of them I just kind of was like, whatever. But also characterization is the one thing that really needed some more structure on the script of Thanksgiving. Because they really nailed it with the vibe. They just needed to do a little bit more work with the overall characters and really just the script because the story's there, the kills are there, the excitement's there. I'm hoping in Thanksgiving 2 we're able to build more on these characters, at least the survivors, and work with it from there. So yeah, I love Thanksgiving. I'm also a big time slasher fan, so Halloween is the movie that got me starting this channel anyway. So love slashers, and yeah, Thanksgiving is my favorite horror movie of the year. So, who just yawned? Did Destiny just yawn? Did you just yawn? You know what?
I don't think I did.
That's going to be a new clip, people. That's going to be a new clip that is going to be added. Anytime one of us yawns, I will be playing the Are You Yawning? Seriously? As I'm breaking it down? You don't know what that's from, do you?
Mm-mm.
This is insane. You're lying right now. You know exactly where that's from.
No, I don't. What?
Yeah, thank you, Brett.
Now you gotta die. Those are the rules.
It's from Avengers Infinity War when Tony Stark is talking to Drax because he's yawning. He's coming up with the plan. And he's like, "Are you yawning? Seriously? As I'm breaking it down?" Holy cow. Wow, guys. So she's a fake Stark fan. Don't ever let her tell you that Iron Man's her favorite because he clearly is not.
Okay, my bad. My bad. I watched all the way up till phase what of this year in one fucking year. So my bad.
You did do a
Hey.
good job.
I might not remember every single thing, okay?
I'm pretty sure that's one of the more memorable moments of that movie, though, joke-wise.
I would say other things might outweigh it a little bit. I was traumatized, so I'm sorry I don't remember a joke.
You definitely were, because I remember we did do a before and after picture, and you were quite traumatized at the end of Avengers Infinity War. Guys, I swear to God, for those of you that are not big Marvel fans, I'm going to talk just about this for just a second, and we're going to wrap it up. But yeah, I do remember her turning and reacting, saying, "What's happening? What's happening?" She's like, "Are they dying?" And then I basically just kind of gave her the confirmation look, and she legit squeezed my arm so hard, and literally tears just started. I've never seen tears run down a face more than I did when the ending of Infinity War happened. It was actually that. No. That, and because obviously Stark doesn't die in Infinity War. But when he
hopefully everyone else is caught up.
No, well, I'm just saying, when Thanos stabs Tony Stark, genuinely, that was basically a scene where, because I knew she was gonna have some sort of reaction, because it's like the music, Stark and Thanos are fighting, and then all of a sudden he takes a piece of Stark's suit off and stabs him with it. And Des legitimately, tears just she had her hand on my arm and basically it was gone, and her whole face was covered, thinking that Stark was about to die from Thanos. It was a great reaction, and it was definitely a very memorable viewing experience for Infinity War because she reacted every way that I thought she would, and even more actually. So yeah.
Yeah, and if you thought that was bad, Endgame came, and
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
I'll cry right now.
Brandon, that's definitely a memorable joke as well. I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora? Man, dude, I just love Drax, man. Dave Bautista is just so good in that. And you did say though that when you saw Dave Bautista for the first time outside of the makeup of Drax, you didn't really like him, just didn't like how Drax looked.
I don't like how Drax looked.
Drax looks okay
because it was almost like uncanny to where looking at him it felt wrong. And I just had watched, because I hadn't seen Dave Bautista in too much, besides I saw Knock at the Cabin, and he was great in that. I was giving you shit earlier. He is the best part of that movie, in my opinion. But I had just seen him in Glass Onion last year, and I hadn't really seen him into too much, and so I knew that was him. But I don't know if it's because the color of his overall body makeup and the color of his eyes, because his eyes were really red compared to the grayish color. Something about it really threw me off, and I can look at him now. But at first it was really hard. Something about it just really, my eyes just did not like. I think it was the color. It was freaking me out a little bit. I don't know. But I grew to like him because I do like Dave Bautista as an actor.
Yeah, I just think that you had to adjust to how he was going to look in these movies.
big time. Yeah.
But honestly, it's like he just kind of he's like a Drax is a character that acts tough, but really he's just like a big fluff ball, you know. He has a big heart for those that he loves, and that's something that we see really a lot with all of the Guardians throughout, and that's why the Guardians is the best family in the MCU, is like because of just how they treat each other like family. And there's even that scene, I think it's in Volume 2, when Nebula is like, "You guys are not friends. All you do is fight," and he's like, "No, we're not friends. We're family." And you know, it's just such a great overall arc for all of them, because they're just a bunch of misfits that come together and form this unbreakable bond to like where they freaking love they love a raccoon. Yeah, go ahead and cry. Go ahead and cry. It's okay.
I'm not gonna cry, but
What? Oh, I got you. Yeah, don't worry. Yep, I got it. Okay, everyone. So we all have to wrap it up here for tonight. Yes, Blu-ray. Next week, we are going to discuss our most anticipated movies of 2024. That will be what we kick off the year with. So, Des, anything that you have coming up between now and next week's episode?
no.
Perfect. Neither do I, because I'm going to be on my way out to you tomorrow. So, yeah, that's what's going on, everybody. So next week we will be doing our most anticipated movies, horror movies of 2024. I have to look up and see what really is coming out throughout next year, honestly. So I got to do some digging. But I hope that you guys had a very Merry Christmas. I hope that you guys have a fantastic New Year's Eve, and hope that you guys are able to ring in the new year strong and end this year strong as well. Thank you guys so much for being a great audience. As always, you guys are the best. And with all that being said, post comments down below. Let us know, what did you guys think of tonight? What was your guys' top 10 horror movies of 2023? There was a lot of them this year. Honestly, there was a lot that we were seeing here in the chat that we talked about tonight. What did you guys think? Whatever those thoughts are, comment below, let us know. And as always, if you guys like this, don't forget to join this channel on its journey to 15,000 subscribers. And we will see you guys next week on Fear Freaks. Have a great one, guys, and Happy New Year.